Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you all. 9 o'clock, 30 minutes right for the market opened up. And I don't know about you, but I think things got a little quiet today, this morning. So a lot of things happening. We had a couple of earnings announcements that came out. See how the banks are doing. We had the CPI numbers came out, right? What did they do? The CPI numbers, they're actually, I think they were pretty good. They showed, right? The CPI numbers. I just had it here for a second. Where are we? Yeah, CPI numbers, March CPIs came in slightly higher than expected. Core inflation is still sticky. Pulling back the Fed rate, cut, hoping that's what we're seeing. So I don't know. But one thing I tell you is pretty cool. Have you seen gold lately? Where's Grant Brockway? Grant, you're probably cashing in right now, aren't you? Big market going on with gold. My God, finally. We were talking about that about a week ago or something like that, 2 weeks ago. And they were projecting it's going to hit about 3,500 or something like that. I said, they said by the end of the year, I said, damn, I think it's going to hit by June. I mean, the rate it's going up, it's unbelievable. Which, by the way, I want to make a point regarding about gold. I don't know if you guys know this, but people always look at gold like, should I buy gold here? Just to let you know that when you buy gold, you're paying its spot, right? If you want to sell it, okay, you're only going to get, I think it's almost like $50 or $100 less. So that has to go up that much before you could break even. So think of it as being the spread. So when you're dealing with something like that, just keep in mind that there is a spread in gold. Gold betting 5,000 by the end of the year, Chuck. Are you serious? You know what? I'm with you, bro. I hope so too. The only thing I'm worried about that I'm not seeing it's happening that much is it's not working out for silver. Silver, I remember when gold was up, took a little bit of run. It went like $50. Silver, I think, is still being underpriced. Hasn't kicked in yet. And it's always like, I look at it as silver as like the ETF, right? You can't afford NVIDIA, so why not trade? Or you can't afford Tesla, so why not trade TSLL, right? It's a lot cheaper. So let's see if everyone catches on. Now, before we get started, just a quick little announcement. Kathleen this morning is going to be coming to our on-site. She just registered. I forgot to mention the on-site that's going to be going on in October. So if you have not registered for the October on-site, here's the link right here. It's our biggest event of the year, and all you got to do is leave a deposit. And it's our first time coming. That's why I want to make that announcement. I know some of you have been coming here year after year after year. So if anyone is interested in coming to the on-site, take the time after our 15-minute break and just look at the testimonials, watch the video that we made, look at all the great stuff that we got going on, and and read some of the testimonials and check out the reviews on the Google reviews. All right, just wanted to kind of just put that out there and show everyone. All right, so let's do some shopping right now. Let's see what's happening regarding what happened yesterday. We did get a couple of good moves, a couple of stocks. AREB. I just want to point out one thing about that stock right here. This stock was unbelievable how it made a big move yesterday. Right here. I want to zoom in this area right here, just show you what happened. Just do a quick lesson. All right. So yesterday, if you remember, we were with me and Josh. I'm looking at AREB, and it really was not tradable. But what I loved about this stock, and I kept repeating it, and we teach this in class, we talk about Fausto flags. Fausto flag. So right around this $10 price range, you saw the Fausto flag. And right then and there, you had about 2 minutes to jump into that stock. And the thing ran from 10 and went all the way up to 12.50. I got out right around 12.10. So I did pretty well. But everyone should have got out minimum at 11. Okay. But that was not only a great educational lesson that we talked about in class, but I know a lot of you guys did trade it. And if you are a trial member or just here, just watching, this is what you learn, what we teach you in class. Just do the math. Let me just kind of bring this calculator here because I love bringing up my calculator. Just do the math because a lot of people have this misconception. You need a lot of money to do this. If you bought 1,000 shares, that's $10,000. Okay. This is not like a $200, $300 stock. But if you look at it, if you made $1, right? $1 on that times 1,000 shares, that comes out to be $1,000. Times that by 5 days a week is 5,000. Times that by 52 weeks, there's your salary right there. So you didn't have to make all of it. Hell, if you just made even 50 cents on that trade, you would have made yourself a nice $100,000 salary. So basically, that's what it really comes down to. It you don't need to kill it, but it was a great run up, and we did really well on that stock, and it was very educational too. One other stock also I want to bring up, Lucky. So Lucky had a really good move yesterday in the afternoon. You could see that stock ran from $3 up to $5, all the way up until the close, and it was a great runner-up. So that was another pretty good one. Now, regarding about the overall market, because I know a lot of you here are like, shit, what happened with this market? It came down. It's too late to jump in. What would she do? So regarding about the Dow, I went back in. Let me just bring this up right here. So we had that great run up. What a hangover that was. And then yesterday, it just kept going down. I jumped back in. I doubled down on TSLL. So I got in right around here, right around the $8 price range. So I had it and I sold it. I sold it right around, I hate to say it, right around 850. And I was so pissed because I had it at 10. And but I ended up buying it back at 8. So I'm right around there. I'm just looking at, listen, the reason why I love the stock right here is if you look here on the long-term chart, it's right there. It's literally right there. All we need is one thing. The only thing I do not like about it is that's a lower low right there. So we got to break out that lower low. But if I own it at, listen, if it falls like around 7, 8, 750, I'll get out. But there are some really screaming buys out there. Delta also, I know we did really well on that one. I sold everything yesterday, but I bought back a little bit. Right now, I'm probably in like 60% cash. So I'm like, I got one in the door, 1 foot out the door. All right. So anyway, a couple of you here. Chuck says silver's being surpassed by big banks. Can't do that forever. Oh, is that what is it, Chuck? I made 3+ on that. I love it, Fausto. You're more than welcome, John. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right. Anyway, let's go through the watch list and see what's going on this morning. So there really wasn't that much great stuff out there. This stock is kind of flatline right here, this MSPR. So we'll keep a close eye on that one. I'll put that on the B list. This had a big pop yesterday, and then it came crashing down. Good volume, 38%, 17 million shares. I mean, the trend is not there, and no trend, it's not your friend. So I'm not sold on that one. Ugly chart right here. Ugly chart. There's our AREB again. It's a volatile stock. I don't like to go back to the scene of the crime. Let's say that. But this one doesn't look bad. CDT, that also had a pretty good move yesterday, 70 cents up to 90. And you can see it had a big run up. So whatever they came out with is doing pretty well. I don't know if you guys heard about the pharmaceutical stocks that Trump is obviously going to put some tariffs on the pharmaceutical stocks. I forgot to mention that. I would keep a close eye on these pharmaceutical stocks, okay? Not looking too good on the pharmaceutical stocks. And look at the brand names like Eli Lilly. You could look at Pfizer, all of them. But apparently he wants all these. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of these pharmaceutical stocks make their make all the Tylenols and everything in China, okay? And we all know what happened during COVID. So he wants them all to come back and bring them and manufacture them back into the United States, okay? I don't know if you remember that last little drop, which was kind of scary. But when we kept pressuring and blaming China for the coronavirus, China went out there and says, hey, you better stop it or we'll stop sending you the Tylenol. And everybody's like, whoa, what'd you say? And that, listen, got to read between the lines, and that could just stick. And they say, oh, we were just kidding. You're dealing with a communist country. The president's not taking jokes when it comes to that, and he's going to force them to come back to the United States. So I would be really careful and watch some of these pharmaceutical stocks. They might take a hit if they don't get their drugs here fast enough. And I think he's going to be doing it within the next week or so. So that could be a very good short. If he does make that announcement, we're going to keep an eye on those pharmaceutical stocks. So we're going to put those on our watch list. So regarding about anything else that's out there, There's a reverse stock split right there. New York Stock Exchange, GDXU. You know what stock that is? That's a gold stock right there. It's a gold ETF. Yeah, those things are all rocking. Here's some of the ETFs too. These are old ETFs. That's the opposite of the gold ETF right there. I want to put that on our list. GDXU. I mean, that's a hell of a run. Bank of Montreal mega sectors now. GLD, right? That's the gold one right there. That thing is just rocketing. GLD. We'll put that on. And we announced that they're moving all their manufacturing back to the U.S. in the next few years. Nuvo. Okay, so is that NVO? Nuvo. That's that one right there. No, that's Manjaro. That's the weight loss drug too. Big one right there. Listen, in the corporation's defense, okay, you just can't move out. There's not like this. You own a house, right? And you can't have somebody just slap you with an eviction notice and says you got to be out in a week. Well, okay, I'll move, but I got to sell it. I got to find someone to move my furniture. I need to find a place where to live. You got to understand. One thing I don't agree with is that they just can't pack up and leave. You know what I mean? Like it's just you settled in the house over there and you built something and you got to hire employees, this and that. So, yeah, it's going to take a couple of years for them to come back, but I guess we'll see how that pans out and how that works out. Anyway, other stocks out there, we had a couple of brand name stocks. It's a mixed market today. So hopefully everything calmed down a little bit. Hopefully it's not like last Friday. My God, I don't know if you still hung over for that, but remember last Friday was the start of the crash. And then Monday and Tuesday, I mean, it was unbelievable. And then this week we had the rally. So I think today's going to be a little on the quiet side. I know not a big list going on, but that pretty much does it. Now, once again, if you guys want to find out more before we leave, if you want to find out more and be like Kathleen and join us for, where is it? There it is right there. If you want to find out more about the on-site, let me just give you the link again, right on our homepage or our website. And you click on education. And once you're on education, in-person classes. So we only do this once a year. Oh, Rich already posted in there. Only once a year. So if you want to find out more, you want to read the testimonials, watch a nice little video on it, I think you guys will enjoy it. All right. All right. Let's get ready for the market open over 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. So stay tuned. Good luck, everybody. Trade safe. We'll be back in 15 minutes. All right, traders, good morning. Good to see you all. Happy Friday, everybody. Let me see if everybody can hear okay. Give me a chat back. Good to see you, Pat. All right, good. All right, Josh will be just joining us in about just a few more minutes, so we're going to start and move ahead without him. Hopefully everybody logged in on social media is doing a good time. I'm getting ready. So market's down about 90 points right now. We're going to wait the first 5 minutes and see how things work out like we always do. Let all the chaos kick in, and then we'll take it from there. What do we got moving in here so far? So we have a little bit of movement going on with iBit. I didn't put it on the watch list, but we had a nice little push in the market with Bitcoin. Just want to check it out where it is right now. I know it was up pretty big. Yeah, we're up at 82,000. But now I did the podcast, huge fan, John, for the CEO of TradeStation. We were talking a little bit about it, but he's still a big fan of it. I think there's still a big buy. He's still think it's going to really go up. So you can see that some pretty good things that came out with it. You got about 100 Bitcoins that can be sold. That's 83,000. All right. So some of the stocks that are on our watch list that we're looking at, we got the MSPR that's on there. I don't have it on level 4. I just want to see what happened to the banks. Anything happened with the banks? I know they had earnings, Citi, all of them. All right, let me bring up level 4 on that stock right now. Oh, market's down about 250 now. Getting a pop in Tesla. I don't know what that's all about. Market's down big, but Tesla's going up. I told you I went back in and I jumped in TSLL. Double down on it.
There we go, Fausto. We are good to go. What's going on?
Hey, good to see you. Good morning.
Yeah, there we go.
Love your hat. That looks great. What's on the front?
What was that?
What's the front of your hat? What's on there?
This one's just Belmont Stakes.
The Belmont.
Yeah.
Looking
I
forward
just try and turn water into wine this morning, so this is the best you got here. At least got to get me a haircut. But
I got to get a haircut too. Man. I'm going to be in Vegas next week. Market's down 300 points now. We're getting a little bit of a crash here.
Didn't they move the Belmont to Saratoga this year?
Yeah, well, because they're rebuilding the whole racetrack. They want to compete. I don't know if anyone here is a race fan, whatever it is. I used to own horses a long time ago. First, a big losing proposition, so don't ever do it. Bad bet. But a little piece. My brother was pretty big in it. Anyway, the Belmont Stakes is just so much fun. Yeah. But it got really expensive to go to them now. I mean, I went to the Derby a few times. That's crazy too, but it's a fun event. Yeah, not even just going to the actual Belmont Stakes. It's always nice just to even go to the track with a bunch of friends for the day. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. When I went to Belmont, though, the only time I went where I got the set, the trip back from Belmont, if you're taking like the bus or like not the public bus, they have like shuttles and whatever. It is the biggest pain in the ass to get out of. It took like an hour and a half just to get out of Belmont. We were just kind of sitting, waiting in this RV, this van.
Yeah, you gotta have the connections of where to park and everything like that. We're getting a pop in this FRGT, just a little nervous on the actual volume. It's only about 94,000 shares. So
and right there, Fausto, you see on our screen there on the right side, you got a 20,000 share seller out there right at 138. See that there up top? Rich waving his cursor there.
Yep, I see that.
You got a little move up in Bitcoin right now, so I'm happy to see that. I think there is I don't want to get ahead of myself when I say this. There's a small chance the run starts earlier even than I'm thinking. I was telling our students this week, Fausto, like it's a loose timeline, but within like 40 days, 30 to 40 days, I think that we're going to see the beginning of the new run. I went over it in our workshop earlier this week, Traders Talk. But you got a really good move overnight on Bitcoin. I'm like, does it start early?
Yeah. Like I told you, you got to go down before you can go back up. Not to change the subject, but Intel for some reason is tanking.
Wow. Yeah, that's a fat drop.
Jeez. There's a lot of buyers that's coming up to right now. There is almost a 300,000 share buyer around 18, another 100,000. So there's a lot of buyers right here. It's just hitting one buyer and filled them. I'll post an image of that for some of you here. I'll do an alert.
try to see news on Intel. I don't really have as much. I see something with their CEO being tied to China or like some Chinese stocks. I don't know if the military even.
Ooh, that's not a good sign.
It's a
I
great
don't know.
short though. Yeah. I mean, what's the low back from the beginning of this month? We're getting pretty close to there already. Oh, yeah, Bitcoin's making a good push right now. We might be hitting 83,000 again pretty soon. If you compare that to where the SPY topped off back the other day when Trump made the announcement with the tariffs, SPY went up as high as 548, which is insane. But Bitcoin's almost back to where it had topped off at back then. So it goes to show it's been pretty strong.
Mm-hmm. All right, just did that alert really quick. I want to post that for you guys to see what we're looking at. Something pretty educational, level 4. Could be a good buy. I think tank's pretty much. I tell you, there's going to be a lot of. I'm really nervous what this president's doing in a not in a bad way or whatever, or a good way, but they're exposing, with this whole China thing, doing all this craziness. You can see a lot being exposed soon. You know what I mean? Like this morning, I don't know if you guys know this, which actually makes absolutely zero sense. And I hate Wall Street for this. Did you know the Chinese stocks don't report? They have special. They actually have something special that they're allowed to do whatever they want and not report, versus all the other U.S. companies do that are public. So they're looking to abolish that, and that could be pretty ugly. You know what I mean? But the reason why they do that is because Wall Street makes money on it.
Wendy says that she heard that. Yeah, I thought that was like that was always in my head. I think you probably said that, a while back to me in class. And uh, just, I guess it's official, right? They don't report.
They don't report like remember Luke and Coffee? We made a killing on it. They didn't report. No, they were supposed to be the next Starbucks. And remember what happened?
Oh, yeah, Luke and
They
Coffee,
just
yeah.
totally fudged the numbers. By the way, Intel's getting crushed. All those buyers in the bid are getting hit. It's getting close to that 300,000 share buy around 18. Is probably the only stock that looks pretty good. You just called it out earlier, Josh. You made a nice call. It's come to test some pretty big support levels right around the $18 price range. It breaks that.
Where are we going next?
Oh, I mean, there is a 3-layer cake all the way down to 17, but that 18 is really, really, really important. So we can look for a bounce right here. Ooh, big red bull just came in, which means that was a big sell order.
There we go. Geez, I had to go back like 50 years to see most, if not all, of the long term on Intel. Yeah, look at back in 2008. They had some crazy support back then during the banking crisis, just at like
What, at
12 bucks.
18?
What?
At what price?
Oh,
18?
at 12 bucks.
A 12.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's heading down there unless if we have a total capitulation in the market again. But
Intel was my first girlfriend in the stock market. Everybody remember that first girlfriend? Like when I got into this industry, it's what we traded. That was back in the 90s, that Intel was like Intel and Microsoft were the godfather. Before even Google even came out. Like that was then that took over. But this was like iOmega. I don't know, some of you here go back and remember those stocks. US Robotics, remember that? The 56K modems and stuff. But this was the Dow mover. And like I said, I just feel bad for it. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of some green bulls coming in buying in Intel. So, if anyone here is looking, if you know what to look for, you might be getting a little bounce right here.
just for anyone here in our room, if you happen to have like an issue with the screen share, just log out and log back in yourself. I know that we're good at here in the room, and on YouTube we're good. I think one of us just had a little glitch there. Just always do a little log out, log back in. Probably will work.
All right, Tesla's trying to go back up. I mean, I bought a shitload. I doubled down on TSLL yesterday.
Getting a nice little bounce in the market here so far.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? It's like I'm looking from yesterday's chart and today's. I don't know why it's bouncing, but we do got a lot of resistance levels right around 38.80. A lot of resistance levels on the Dow at that number. So, and even on the S&P, we got a lot of resistance levels right around 5,300 100. So about 40 points away from that. I don't know. It's a weird morning. Right now, it's just a scalp day.
They're saying MSRP heading down right now. Just take a look at that, Rich. Just take a look at the MSRP. I think everyone here says MSRP because you hear that obviously with like cars, and you always think MSRP, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. No, not your bad at all, Abdel. It's just traders' dyslexia. It's a good thing. Going to be a good member of CTU at least if you get some good traders' dyslexia. Yeah, that is definitely down. You don't want to be a part of that trade. And once it breaks support, at least within the first 5 minutes, you know to move on pretty quick. But for any of our trial members here, we'll teach you that definitely a lot further more in our classes coming up in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, we got our classes again. Next week,
I think I'm going to buy some.
next week, we got Good Friday. So the market's going to be closed next Friday.
That's right.
And then after that, we got class.
It's going to be closed on Friday, and that means my kids are off from school. Catholic schools are off the following week because of Easter. So you got Palm Sunday this week. I'm not expecting to be a super crazy week next week. So it's going to be
also Passover beginning tomorrow night. And like you said, with kids off from school generally around this time of the year.
Yeah, it's a crazy
Easter, Passover, whatever. Just
it's Passover too, right? In the Jewish holiday?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow, goes up until Easter. So, it's just to say, at least when kids are spending time with family, that's where you're typically not going to see as much action in the market.
Yeah, a lot of kids. Like my son's coming back from college for the weekend. So a lot of people are going to be doing that. And then also for some of you, any of my Greek friends out there, is like the first time Easter in the Greek in the Greek religion is on the same day as Easter. So it's usually like 2 weeks later, like 3 weeks, but it falls on the same day. So it's pretty anomaly. We're having all these these big major holidays, religious holidays fall on the same day. So I expect it to be like that for a while.
Here's a funny ticker, Fausto. This one, I'll see what it's about. But MMA got halted to the upside. Mixed martial arts group halted on the upside. It's not really great news, though. I mean, they entered into some $2 million loan agreement. I could see this thing tanking right back down after. Just be careful on this. Chris called out just before one of our platinum students the AREB trade. That's definitely more category 4 or 5 in terms of like how we categorize it, in volatility. But Chris knows what he's doing. It's a great call out, and just hopefully we can see this break over 10 soon.
I just bought a half a lot of NVDL. And buy some of that.
This afternoon, I think, could be pretty interesting. I was going into today thinking it's going to be more of a typical Friday, especially after everything that's already happened the past 2 weeks. Have a little pause, a little slow day. But I feel like the afternoon, you might see some crazy action with like short covering or, people just trying to load positions going into the next week. Could be sell-off too. You might have sell-off, people getting out of positions, either way.
Well, a lot of people don't like to hold things going into, going away on vacation, but seeing them I'm buying over here. I feel like in a buying mood. I'm gonna buy some Delta.
MBOT might be trying to make a pop. MBOT.
MBOT?
Yeah, that was one from yesterday in the afternoon. We weren't even as focused on it. I was like, oh, it's a nice slow stock, category 1, but it's up another 12% today. Just broke over $2 before. So you've had like, water go down the wrong pipe. So just a second ago, coffee went down the wrong pipe a second ago. I was like fighting a little bit internally, just trying to not to cough.
That's okay.
We won the battle.
You're on camera, so you're good.
Yeah. SPY is still making higher highs for now, but like you said, it's kind of a weird market.
Yeah, I'm just buying some stock here.
We had sent out a poll question earlier to all of our members here. We had finished it up just when we started the meeting. But I was asking, like, basically the SPY S&P ETF was trading around $525. So more or less, like what price do you see hitting first? $500 or $550? Like, do you think it's going to go down first, or do you think it's going to go up first? And 61% of us said, it's more likely to hit 550, go up first. So, it's just nice to kind of see where we're all at, what our thoughts are, opinions are with the market. See who's going to be right on that. It'll be a fun little game. SPY still trying to go up a little bit. Only 9:45 in the morning, so that AREB trade still pushing up. Or actually, no, never mind. Pardon me. Benzinga misleading me. It's pulling back. Latest saying TEM Pelosi stock creeping up, testing $42. Yeah, that's been a pretty volatile trade, like in a good way. Just be careful of the order book, a little thin with tiers, but I think that's going to be the case for a $42 stock, kind of. So definitely good call.
Just buying some stock here. I bought some NVDL.
I want to just see how this MMA trade reopens up. It's up 146%. I think it's going to tank. I think it's going to be an instant drop, but I don't think that news is good enough. All right, Bitcoin at 83, over 83.
It's a nice little pop on that stock.
No, we got a halt right now on the downside. That AREB, as I just said, it was Benzinga misled me there. I thought it was popping up at the time. It was crashing and just got halted right now. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Yeah, look at that order book, how thin it is. It's like the most boomer bust that you'll see.
Okay.
Yep, it's already getting halted to the upside again, Fausto. This is going to be a trade that'll get halted like umpteen times throughout the day. Oh, I was wrong.
Almost.
I jinxed it. It was kicking in for a second, though.
Did you call the halt on the AEHL? That thing's ugly. I think it just took off almost like 50 cents. By the way, that Intel trade was a really good buy if you guys got in. Hopefully everyone was good for 50 cents. Big support level at that price. Just trying to buy some stock here.
What are you buying right now?
I bought some TSLL. I bought some Delta, and I bought some Nvidia. I'm buying some. I got to go from account to account because I got like 10 accounts.
I think that, between the EU and what they're doing, and then China also, they already did, I think, like at the end of last year, their stimulus stuff. But I feel like we're going to eventually start doing the quantitative easing again. They're going to start printing the money, and the US included. So, but this time I think the EU's involved. I think they're going to have to do it. They're looking horrible right now. And I think when that happens, it's going to inject a ton of money into the market. I think we're going to get a nice pop, at least as a result.
IBIT's going up pretty nicely. You think, looking at the chart right here, it doesn't look too good. I mean, that was a hell of a shake yesterday.
Mm-hmm. This whole week was a shake. Crazy drop from 525 on the SPY down to 490, then back up.
Yep.
I guess I could say I've seen something like it because now we've done COVID, back in 2020, but it's pretty rare to get that type of price action. Rich calling out RXRX. That's a nice stock normally. It typically trades good volume, and yeah, it's making a good move.
What happened to Newsmax? CLSK. I'm just looking at some of these stocks that we watched earlier. Anything got crushed?
The Reddit trade's still not doing good.
Yeah, that's not coming back, looks like. HIMS never came back.
Oh yeah, HIMS. I forgot about HIMS. Wow, 26 cents. Just been choppy.
I know. It's crazy, right? When you look at that.
I mean, that's like a skyscraper.
Yep,
You
I
know,
know. I mean, this if you're looking long term, there's some really good buys out there.
I know the quantum stocks moved a little bit yesterday. Nothing too big, but where you're saying there might be some good buys out there, I'm just trying to come up with stuff off the top of my head. Like, all right, what's this up to? Like you just said before.
Oh, great. Tesla just dropped. What the hell was that all about?
I know that we've had some good call outs from students just this week on swing trade opportunities. Michael W., one of our trial members here, and on the TJX, and that was a really nice chart long term. Michael D. on Walmart.
Yeah, and like I said, there are some really good buys. I mean, like some are just slower than others. Like I was a big fan of BJ's, and I go back to them like, oh my god, I can't believe they broke 100. The valuation on the company is just incredible. I mean, there was some really good steals out there. Slow.
The trades from the morning session just before, like CDT, and we said earlier MSPR, those are all done. They've been done.
I can't believe gold. Holy crap, man. Gold is like unbelievable.
What was that?
Gold.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Brand, Chuck, a bunch of us, big fans of gold here, and they've been for years and years and years. So
We had to break that. We had that kryptonite at almost 3,000. You know what I mean? I think it was 3,000. No, was that the whole time high? It was getting close. One of them was like to 2,800 or something like that. It's like every stock when you break all time highs. Where's the next resistance levels? So that's what ends up happening. Nugget.
this MMA trade pulling back right now. It seems we said that was going to happen. The more Bitcoin holds around this price here, I could really see continuation into like 85,000 by like the weekend, by tomorrow even. Like, I don't want to say it's like likely to happen. I could just see it though. It's a possibility. You said it earlier in the week, Fausto, when the markets were tanking. It's so tough to time the bottom and try and find like, when is the perfect time to jump into a swing trade. It's better to wait a little bit and you see a little consolidation. But after the pop we had from Thursday or from Wednesday this week, that's kind of your on switch. Pretty quickly with the news that came out with Trump and the tech. You're like, okay, market back on here. So you just don't want to chase.
Yeah, that's how by the way, getting like this halt on the downside on the AEHL on the downside. That's what happens when you get a stock that took off that high. It's you need a couple of days to kind of get a feel of if it's time to swing trade. And like we had that little sell off yesterday. It's holding here pretty strong. I'm seeing where the Dow is right now and the S&P where it's holding. It did exactly what I said it was going to do this morning. It went right to the high. A lot of resistance levels on the Dow right now here at 38,000. So we're is that 38? I'm sorry, 39. 39, almost the 39,000, 39,800. That's what it is. From yesterday, it hit it like 6-7 times. So, and with the big run up on, was it Wednesday? Was a lot of support levels. So right now we're hitting the kryptonite. Same thing with the S&P. S&P just went right exactly where I said it was going to hit, right there, 5,300. A lot of resistance and big support levels on Wednesday's rally. So we're here.
Yep. It's lining up SPY right at $530. From yesterday, it was holding really well there.
You know what I didn't sell out of everything? Because it was the dividend that was holding me in, the CONY. And I'm glad I didn't sell it, but when's the dividend pay on that thing? That thing pays a shitload of money. Hold on.
Yeah, DSLY, what was it? One of our students, Carlos, is in like a bunch of the higher paying dividends. CONY is the Coinbase one. I guess if it ends in Y, that's the one you want. Still got your CSQ?
I sold out a long time ago. I got out. Okay, so the yield, most recent dividend was dated on April 3rd. It was paid on April 4th, so I got paid on that.
That's what
So,
Bill asking here in the chat. Do you think traders want to hold positions over the weekend?
well, I just went long, so I hope so.
Still higher lows, higher highs for now. Just keep your eye on the time. We still got about like 20, 30 more minutes until reversal time technically, but
So this is crazy. So if you have, I'll post this in the room. If you had 1,000 shares of CONY,
Mhm.
it pays. This is what it pays. So 1,000 shares, it paid 43 cents. So you made $400 on that stock. So,
That's good. And that's a $7 ETF also. That's crazy.
yes. Well, it came down over. So I want to add something up for you. So based on, wow, holy crap, this thing paid a lot. Holy shit. Some months were better than others. It was like the worst
You know
month
what I
ever.
think is happening here? I think that these ETFs, Fausto, are starting to kind of feed off of what's going on in crypto. There's a whole thing in crypto called DeFi. If you remember, we may have dipped our feet into that water a couple years ago, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
We quickly dipped out of that water after what happened. But like they were paying these crazy yields, APY. You have to lock your crypto up to do it. But
Yeah.
like this is similar where they're paying super high yields, but there's probably a little higher risk, maybe. I don't know, but
Well, when
it's
you look
cheap. It's a pretty good deal for CONY.
yeah, but you know what? But you got to look at it. You got to look at the opposite. It came down, like in November, I just posted, it paid $2,000 on the month, right? But if you had 1,000 shares of it, it cost you $15. Today it's at 7. So you lost $7,000 on that trade. I got to calculate the numbers. I can't think. I'm not as good that fast like I used to. But
It's a Friday also. It's a Friday.
but like even you could see like in April, it paid $400, but it was a $7 stock, so $7,000. So you're talking you lost 7,000. I mean, overall, you think you did pretty well.
Good pop on that RXRX. We just called that out earlier. Rich was on top of it in the chat, and we pointed it out before too, saying like it's a good stock. Trades good volume normally.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can see
like,
on our screen right there, Rich, if you want to highlight that, got the 88,000 share sell order. It's getting approached right now.
Adele,
There.
the one I liked is the TSLY. If you notice, hasn't really gone anywhere, even with the crash and everything there. And that one pays a very high dividend too. I got paid on that one.
And hey, for anyone that isn't in on these, yet, like you got time. You got a little time here. You don't need to dive headfirst in. You still got to plan out where your levels are, right? But there is plenty of time. Those dividends aren't going anywhere, I don't think so.
It paid 122% dividend. It pays you every month too.
That's incredible. I mean, that's legit passive income pretty nicely.
Hey, listen, as long as it doesn't go down, it's all about, you know what I mean? So
Turn back to that MMA trade, Rich. Looks like that just got halted to the downside. Not a surprise. We were calling that out pretty much point blank when it first got halted. I had a feeling that was going to be a pop and drop.
just trying to figure out what the number is on the month.
Mike, I think, that was, on the CONY that Fausto was referring to there. Either the CONY or the TSLY. Some news just came out at 10 o'clock right now and just had a spike down in the market, I think.
So you would make, if you had 1,000 shares of TSLY, you make $446 at the end of the month. Rent. It's like, it's almost like the same of selling options, right? Because you got to own the stock. So it's the same, basically same crap. I know we had whatchamacallit. I'm going to be on his show next week. Was it William?
Hmm.
Where I have him here, yeah. Trade Reserve. I was going to be on. He does that a lot of that. That was pretty educational. We did a podcast on it. You guys should definitely watch it. There's nothing, if you have a stock that is just sitting there, just rent it out. If you're not looking to sell it, just rent it out. They pay you good money on it.
Just trying to see what happened here at 10 o'clock. Some numbers came out. I know the PPI came out earlier this morning, but it wasn't too big of a drop.
Mm-hmm.
Would like to get a good slingshot from this then. If we're not going to drop too much from it, then get a nice pop right back up then. If we have that, then I'll definitely jump in on a couple trades right away. I haven't traded anything today since I'm just like, I'm in Bitcoin, so I jumped in that or like last night, but I'm always on top of that. But it's tough to juggle a bunch of things at once. You don't need to make money in this market.
Yeah.
That RXRX, I wonder if it could either break higher or pull back and build support. That's interesting to me.
I think it's starting to back off right now. So we got right to that big resistance levels, like I said earlier, and it backed off the market. So everything's backing off a little bit here. Got to that 30, 39, 800. Big resistance. It's got to break that. Man, that MMA is nasty.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be a big loser.
Whatever goes up comes down twice as fast.
This will be interesting here. You know what? Like, because I'm thinking, like, not everyone's like dead certain about the market going up yet. I feel like there's still going to be like a little sell off and fear going into the weekend. Bill brought that up earlier, where he was asking about it. And right now with this news that came out, whatever it was at 10 a.m., I don't think it's too big. I'm just pointing out like this would be a good litmus test.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we don't drop too much from here, it's like okay, maybe we don't get too much sell off then before 4 o'clock. I feel like this would be something that would trigger it. So I feel like either we see it now or we don't.
Yeah, Del. I know we have I have a call with you today. Looking forward to talking to you and hopefully answer some of those questions. But yeah, I mean, some people don't know that, and that's what you learn when you get into this industry. When you start trading with traders, you kind of like see what really works and what you can and can't do. But if there's anything I'm a fan of when it comes to options, it's selling options. I mean, you just got to know how to do it the right way. But the risk is a hell of a lot less than trying to do it the other way.
Let me ask you, Fausto, what do you got going on for this weekend?
We might be doing another open house on Thursday. It'll be the first time we did one on a Saturday in like a few months. So planning on doing that. I mean, it's Palm Sunday. I'll be going to church, and then next week we'll be leaving for a big conference in Vegas. So on Tuesday. So
Gotcha. Cool.
yeah, because we got the holiday weekend going on there. But what do you got going on? Anything good? Anybody else got? What's everybody else doing?
Yeah, pickleball Sunday. Otherwise, not too much. You go down to St. Pete, ride my bike down there. Probably just get a couple like different like open market festivals or street fairs and whatever. Just check out.
How far are you from the University of Tampa?
That's probably like 40 minutes away, which isn't too far, 30, 40 minutes away. So I go to St. Pete more than Tampa just because you don't want to deal with the bridge, especially if it's like, a social event. If you get a couple drinks in you don't want to be driving. So St. Pete's easier for me, at least, but probably about 30, 40 minutes for Tampa University.
Glenn just made breaking news for you.
What was that?
Blues Festival at St. Pete this weekend.
Oh, yeah? There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll probably check something out at least. keep active. I got to get back in my running game.
Yeah, this PRTG, I don't have it on level 4.
Oh, and Jim's saying he's going to pull out some stone crab traps this weekend. For diamond students.
It's got an ugly level 4, Rich. I don't know if that thing just doesn't make any sense. It's like another, I don't know if I want to call it Legos or just a
John needs to ride his bike
mess.
over the Tampa Bridge. Yeah, if I lived closer to the bridge, I would do it every day. Like I go like off a bridge by me in like Indian Rock Beach, it's called, and I do that. It's like 4 miles away from me, so I'll ride my bike there and back. It's nice.
Mm. Well, Rich convinced me to get a bike, electric bike. I got the Yamaha one. Let me tell you, it's just, one of the big challenges for a lot of us here is like, you get caught on a bridge trying to get up. Like, well, especially some of us are older, we're not as, as fast as guys like you, and have the stamina. But it's going to get hold. This PRTG is going to get hold on the downside right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to get a lot of these stocks today, like we just said with MMA, and then this probably get a lot of pop drop trades.
But the pedal assist now is just awesome the way it works. I mean, it is more money on the regular bike, and I was like, well, I tell you, when you ride one of those, it makes bike riding so much more fun. It really does, because now you could go for 30 miles, 50 miles, and be fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's not like a throttle. You mean you're still pedaling, you're still moving your body. As long as as long as you don't pull a Biden and fall on the floor. You know what I mean? Stop and crash. That was a good one.
What was I going to say? The thing with the electric bike for me is just you got to make sure it has like the range, not even good range. You got to like trust the range it says it gives you, because for me, St. Pete's still about 30 minutes away. It's like an 18-mile like drive or 17-mile. So if I take my bike there and back, I could probably do it, but I don't want to have like in a super hot day for like the battery to get effed up and like all of a
Is
sudden
yours
it doesn't give me
throttled?
as much range. Then I'm stuck in the middle of the highway or whatever, or the Pinellas Trail, and I can't get home.
Is yours throttled,
What was
or
that?
is yours a pedal assist?
Yeah, so there's pedal assist, but I'm just saying, like, imagine being 10 miles or 7 miles out, so it's like, shit. And then, especially definitely in Florida, imagine catching yourself on like a random rainstorm or thunderstorm. It's like, so there's a little risk involved with this down
Yeah,
here.
but for you, we're getting a run up in this THTX. I don't know what's going on with this stock. I just came
This
up
one
on my
has a good
radar.
spread, at least. This one has a kind of good spread. This one
Yeah,
might be
this one just
something
came out
to.
of nowhere.
What did we say just before with RX? RX, yeah, just bounced perfectly off that past resistance. So there might be more to that trade.
It's an ugly level 4, by the way. Ugly waters, so it's gonna be a little difficult to trade. Um, yeah, but Josh, you're not like where we live in Long Island. I mean, you're flatland, so it's like unless you're going up bridges. I mean, as long as you're flat, you're good. The issue with
No, you're
electric
right.
bike
You're
for
right.
us,
You're right.
like
It's just I always fear like, especially like because I've been caught in like running situations where like all of a sudden like poof, it's like pouring rain. You can't time it really. So, um, I take my bike about like 9 miles out, 9 miles back, so 18 miles total, and I have
mhm,
about like 65, 70% battery left. So I
okay.
should be good, right? Like, but I just never like to run the risk.
Well, your bike's heavy too, isn't it?
My bike is heavy. I got a
Yeah, my
fat
bike's
bike.
not that heavy. I think it's only like 50 pounds,
I got
48.
a big bike. It's heavy at least, if not big. And I got to carry it down a flight of stairs. So
This stock's been doing really well. It's a swing trade. Um, just made the watch list, making
which one, the
an
THTX?
HOV. Yeah, no,
What
this
do you mean?
U Army, United States Autonomy Corp. Cheap little stock. I don't know where it came from, but good spread, slow to 2 million shares. I'll put it on the watch list.
Adele says you were right about MMA. Well, you know what, Adele? It comes from experience, and it also comes from learning the hard way early on. And you say, "Ooh, I won't do that again." Uh, but this is where at least I could say. So we always say, don't put personal interest into trading, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what the company does, blah blah blah. I love combat sport, boxing, everything, mixed martial arts, UFC. So I've known over my years anytime some MMA, company is public, they are a loser. They don't do it. The only one is like the one I swing traded earlier this year, TKO. That's like the actual UFC. But any other MMA company, I was like, probably a pop and drop. Jim asking if I live in a condo. Second floor. So I got to go down a flight of stairs. Not an elevator, unfortunately. Bitcoin goes up to 160,000. Maybe I'll install an elevator. We're doing all right here, Fausto. This market is holding up. We pushed back up, if anything. So
Yeah, it's holding.
yeah, I mean, this was a good little litmus test there.
It is a little bit. That's why I said. That's why we got to get past this. We got to get past this 800. And if we're on close to that 1030 time zone, if we keep testing it and we're holding strong at these prices, it looks like it's going to break it.
Oh, Andrea joining us on YouTube. He's probably simulcast in the trading room and on YouTube. But he says, I installed a switch kit on his bike, only added 3 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds, Andrea.
Well, a kilo is like 2 pounds. So that's how you kind of figure it out. When I talk to my cousins in Italy, they're like, I'm 94 kilos. Like, we're still stuck on the old days. Yeah, there's not a really lot going on today, Josh. As I thought this morning, I was going through the watch list. The list was small. We had the CDT, we had the MSPR, the BGLC, GLD, gold, which I rarely ever put on.
We're starting to make at least now a lower high. It's holding that resistance that you had said. Back down we go a little bit. That THTX that you had called out just before, I think that's, again, Benzinga just misleading me here. It's actually pulling back.
Yeah, we're starting to trend down now. You know what's nice now? They finally changed the laws on opening accounts now, like your swing trades. I used to get so screwed. I don't know why they did it, other than they were floating your money. But they finally got rid of, like, when I started, they had the T+3 rule. Means if you hold a position overnight, you can't. That money's not free for you for about 3 days. No, actually, it was 5 days, and then they brought it to 3, 2, and then it's just 1. That's overnight. So that worked out pretty well.
It changed the game, and basically, like, for day traders now, it makes it so much easier for you to, even if you're under the 25K, you can use your settled funds day by day by day,
Right.
and just make sure that you're using settled and not unsettled. That's all you got to do.
Well, you'll get a
And
warning on it.
you
You'll
have
get
such a good ability to trade now.
you get a red call, but they'll tell you that, so you're not buying and selling. You can't buy and sell the same position because that's front running. But it's just nice if you sell stock today, the cash will be available tomorrow, which is before it was never like that. So
Actually,
kind of helping out.
I'm happy you brought that up. I was talking about that to one of our new gold students earlier this week. And they had mentioned, like, basically they have a bunch of different accounts. And quite frankly, that was what, like, we not recommended, but that was something we would say, like, okay, like back in the day, you could open up a few accounts and manage those and you'll have more trades. You don't need to do that as much now. And you don't want to have too many accounts if you don't need to. It's just going to get to a point of overwhelming you. Like, oh, this account, this
Yep.
trade, that trade. Oh, I thought this was in this account here. Less is more at the end of the day.
I just tell everyone to have multiple accounts. Like, just keep your swing trade, your day trade separate. Don't mix and match, because then you end up seeing the stock in your watch list, and like it's like, and then it becomes a day trade. It becomes distraction. Try to keep that separate. I mean, if you have the money to do it, some companies are better than others, depending on what type. If you're doing futures, options, forex, they all think like, oh, we're the best for everything. You can't be the best of everything. You could execute on it, but it's not. Like, personally, Thinkorswim, I don't think is the greatest platform for a day trade. You could do it, but you're not going to get the direct access. And, we cover that in phase 1. Some people, it's not that big of a deal, but it's not, but it has its benefits of having level 4 on it, like the trade stations, direct access, but And you see, like, talking to CEO, he was explaining they're never going to be. I don't think they'll ever be a think or swim. You know what I mean, or whatever. And that's why they accommodate more of the, more of the concierge people, more of the, more of the serious traders than just dealing with the Robinhood people. There's a market for that, but they're not in that market. I think they learned that a long time ago. There was a big order on this stock, U Army, for about 140,000 shares at like 276, and he got filled. That was early this morning
What price?
at 276, and he got filled at like
Yeah, over that right now.
at 9:30 in the morning, like 9:34, some crap like that. I don't know if you see that. It's got a 50,000 share seller at 288. It's just a very interesting looking stock. Very slow, but very slow, but it's making new highs. It's like to me, it's like
The
it's a sleeper.
SPY, not to cut you off here, the SPY looks like it's almost building a Fausto flag right now.
Yeah,
It
it
needs to
does. I
break
see that.
that resistance that you'd called out.
Yeah, the 50. We gotta get test that 53. It looks like it. If it does it, we could have a good move today. It's got to get. It's what is it? It's like 53.10.
Yeah, right around there.
53.08. Like I'm looking at yesterday's, like 3 times.
And if it breaks a lower low here, like a local lower low, then that Fausto flag is not a Fausto flag.
Yeah, like the Dow right now is like it's making a funnel. People texting me telling me, "Is it Fausto? Should I buy?" I just told him I did bought a couple of things. Just sent them a copy of my.
Newsmax trying to go up a little bit, but that's not something I'm really trusting too much.
Wow, that is a pretty big up.
Huge spread though.
I don't know. I feel it's at big resistance levels from yesterday, but you're gonna get like these rallies on this stocks when a new IPOs like new Max, and then they're gonna come crashing down on you and stuff. It's not. I mean, my watch list are like 50-50 right now.
Writing back a Dell right there, and good for any of our trial members too, getting more familiar with our scanning criteria, what we look for. We'll teach you that all in our classes coming up in a couple weeks time, but basically you want to have something trading a lot of volume at this time of the day.
Yeah, so
Small
far
shares, it's just tougher to get in and out of.
it's not a good day trade day. It's the Fridays. You got to be careful. I mean, unless it's something you see there's a good deal that you always wanted to buy and it's there. Like I saw a couple of deals here. I'm willing to take a shot. But I have my stops put in just in case. Did you see what happened with Disney?
No, what happened?
So I don't know if everybody knows, I'm a huge fan of Universal. So Universal just launched their new theme parks. Huge theme park, like a whole new division, whole new section. I don't know if you've ever been to Universal, but they have, Universal, and they have, the other they have the pool section, the other section, and they just launched a whole new one and a new hotel. They're competing against Disney, and Disney's like, I mean, I know they own almost all of that Orlando area, but they're going after them, and they look like they're going to surpass them.
Wait, Disney's going after who?
No, Universal is going to.
Universal versus
is
gotcha.
basically outbeat, going after Disney, getting that market share. And they
Gotcha.
did a
Okay.
really good job.
Interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to look up more on that.
Yeah. But is Universal public? I don't even know. Is it?
I'm gonna take a
And
stab in
Bill,
the dark and say no, but I have no idea. I'm
Bill
only
said,
saying that just from I feel like we would have called it out or traded it at some point, but you're
I
right.
think they're under another umbrella. Bill says
Take a look.
Universal is
I have
building a
no
theme park
idea.
in London. Yeah, I mean, like
TXTX is holding here.
Disney's in a bunch of. It's owned by Comcast,
Yeah,
Okay.
Andrew just saying that they're a gold student in the chat.
What's the symbol on Comcast?
Oh, Bill, you know what? I did hear that. I was trying to like correlate if there was something I had heard that Fausto was discussing just before. That's what I heard on Twitter. Universal's building a theme park in London.
Universal had
Hey, they are trying to grab up market share, not even just in Orlando, just international.
well, you got to remember how many parks is Disney in? They're in, I mean, they're in China, they're in like France or whatever. I mean, they're going to try to hit a couple of them. But I personally loved Universal. I mean, not just about the rides. Their rides are just out of this world. They're just great. They're not like going a great adventure or anything like that, but it's just a beautiful thing. Yeah, the Epic Universal. Yeah, it opened up. Yeah, you know what? Disney just, I don't know. I They were really cheap for so many years. I mean, you go there. I mean, they finally closed down. What's that roller coaster, which was like almost 40 years ago, uh, Magic Kingdom, whatever it is. I don't know what it was, but they just have rides. It's just other than them coming out with Star Wars. I mean, they haven't came out with something like that, a new theme section in years. Shit, we're getting a crash in the market a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say market's pulling back again. It's just holding that resistance perfect.
It's
I'll make
backing
it a small
off.
little pullback with the market there. We haven't made a new low of the day yet, but it looks like we're close to it. All right, let's do one more quick scan here, see what else we can go through. And oh yeah, that MMA trade definitely tanked. The RXRX eventually broke lower. That made a nice bounce at least before, but yeah, you know what? Otherwise, Fausta, I mean, we've been saying it. It's kind of a typical Friday otherwise, and if we have sell-off, then probably won't find as many like up opportunities here. But
NVDL is at support levels. Pretty big support level right here.
go back to the Intel trade, Rich. I want to check back in on that now with the market pulling back. Interesting. That's right near the VWAP price. I wonder if there's going to be more of a pullback on that soon.
It's holding up pretty strong right here. It's a big drop.
My first day trade of the day going to be on Intel short.
This news came out. Down 300.
Still have a good lead on this position I have with Bitcoin right now. Just day trade that I took. A night trade, I guess you could say, but
Yeah, it's going to be like this all day today. We're a few minutes away before we're going to close out. By the way, if anybody's watching on social media, you can take your phone. We're going to be logging out soon. If you want to come join the trading room, just grab your phone. There's a QR code in the top left-hand corner. We'll post a link up there really quick on the YouTube and the chat too. So if you want to come and join us, go to ctu.co/trial. So anyone here want to be able to come and join us? We'll be logging out because we're going to be here all day. But
yeah, we'll be here all throughout the day. Have an afternoon broadcast later at 2:30 Eastern, and like we had said, it might be a typical Friday up until the afternoon, and then there could be even more craziness ahead before the close.
We're going to probably be on cruise control here for see what happens this afternoon. This afternoon can get pretty volatile. We'll see if people want to go long, but who knows? Let's see if this president comes out with another tweet or something.
You
and
never
change
know.
everything. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this China thing, but I mean, now they're like tit for tat, both of them. Somebody's going to,
I think China, what, they upped the tariffs on us just overnight, right?
yeah, they upped that on us to 125%. I mean, they can't sustain that. I mean, it's going to hurt a couple of people here and there, but they can't sustain that. Something's going to hurt. I mean, I don't know what their vision is. Maybe their thing is they're just going to tack it on and we're going to pay for it here. But let's see how that pans out. I don't know. It's if companies start moving. Trump Xi birthday summit is in June.
Both Trump and Z's birthday are both in June, John. That's funny.
Well, June's a long way to come. We got another month and a half. I don't know how long it hit within. Oh, it's within one day.
I'd rather not have a full-blown pullback here, so let's get a nice bounce coming up in the next 5 to 15 minutes.
John saying, Jeffrey's asking, what does China import from us? Not really
I don't
that
have
much.
that answer myself.
Not that much. Maybe some metals we have. I know they're dying for coal. Just a lot more agriculture, I would say, right? Farmers, little stuff like that. Wheat and soybeans, Barbara's saying.
Yeah, I guess more agricultural. Elena says corn.
I know that China did bought a lot of property here in the United States. I wonder what Trump's going to do with that too. I wouldn't be shocked if he's going to force them that and do what's what they call domain, eminent domain. It's like, yeah, we know we need your property. You're too close, and force them to sell. But they're buying a lot of our property here to get all these things. That's what I was thinking at the pork, chicken, soybeans. Samuel's saying, yeah. All right, traders, when you get off the mic. So once again, if you're watching live, just take your phone, scan the QR code right-hand corner. We'll be back. We'll be here all day if you want to come and join us. Otherwise, we'll be back here broadcasting at 2:30. And don't forget to watch those podcasts that we did post up. We did post a bunch of new great videos. I also launched my new Get Hens. I don't know if you guys want to watch the video and learn a little bit more about how to raise chickens and stuff on Fausto Home Living. So did a little bit of that. That was pretty cool. I know a lot of you guys liked it. And we'll see you back in a little bit. All right.
Yep, we'll be back coming up a little bit later on today, folks. Again, definitely check out at cybertradingu, our YouTube channel right here. Be a friend, tell a friend. Hit the subscribe button down below. But like Fausto brought up, though, just go right down to the link scrolling on the bottom there in blue to join us right inside our live trading room.
Yeah. We'll see you then, everyone.